All right, let's talk about a word you hear literally every day: marketing. We're going to peel back all the layers here and really follow the journey, from that first light bulb moment all the way to a super happy, loyal customer. You ready? Let's get into it. So let's just start with the big one. When I say marketing, what pops into your head? Is it those giant billboards on the highway? Or maybe those super annoying pop up ads? A pushy salesperson, maybe? Well, here's the thing: it's kind of all of that, but at the same time, none of it. So, what is it really? Okay, so the first thing we gotta get straight is that marketing isn't just about, shoving a product in someone's face. Nope. At its heart, it's all about creating and delivering genuine value. Think about it less like a sales pitch and more like, hey, I see you have a problem, and I think I can genuinely help you solve it. All right, so let's cut through all the noise, all the hype. In this first part, we're going to lay down a really solid foundation and figure out what marketing actually is, starting with the real basics. Okay, here's the textbook definition, but don't tune out, because a few words in here are super important. See, marketing is a process. It's a whole journey. And yeah, its goal is to create and deliver value. But the part that really matters, the absolute key, it's managing customer relationships. And when you see it like that, you realize that selling is just one tiny piece of this giant puzzle. So if you want to get how marketing works, you first have to get how people work. It's pretty simple, really. We all have basic needs, right? Food, water, a roof over our heads. But then our culture, our personality, that shapes those needs into specific wants. Like, I don't just need food, I want a taco. And then, and this is the magic moment, when you've got the money to buy that taco, your want turns into demand. That's the sweet spot. That's where marketing steps in, turning that I want into I'm buying. And what are we even talking about offering? It's not just, stuff you can hold. Marketers sell services you can't touch or even just amazing experiences. And here's the secret sauce: a truly great brand can take a simple product and make it feel like so much more. Just think about it for a sec. Apple doesn't just sell you a phone, right? They sell you this whole seamless, creative experience. And that, right there, is what modern marketing is all about. Okay, so with all these moving parts, how do companies keep it from turning into just total chaos? Well, they have a blueprint. Good marketing is never an accident. It's always, always built on a solid strategic plan. So let's take a look at how they put that plan together. So this is basically the roadmap to success. First, you start with your vision and mission. That's your why. Why does your company even exist? Then you do your homework. That's market analysis. You got to know your audience and who you're up against. From there, you set some real, concrete goals. You've probably heard of SMART goals, specific, measurable, all that good stuff. And finally, you actually do the thing. You implement the plan and you keep a close eye on how it's going. And this whole thing isn't a straight line. Not at all. It's more like a circle, a constant feedback loop. You're always out there doing research, and what you learn tells you how to slice up your audience and position your brand. Then you launch your strategy, watch what happens, and guess what? All that new data you get feeds right back into the beginning of the cycle. It's just this constant loop of learning, tweaking, and getting better. Okay, we've talked a lot about processes and strategies and plans, but honestly, none of that means anything without one thing. One person, really. So for this next part, we're going to zoom in on the absolute heart of it all: the customer. This idea right here, it's everything. Customer value is not just about the price tag. It's the whole calculation we do in our heads, right? It's what am I getting out of this versus what's it going to cost me? And not just in money, but in my time and my effort too. Really great marketing just tips that scale. It makes the benefits feel so huge that the cost feels like a total bargain. Now, people get these two mixed up all the time. Let's clear it up. Retention is just getting someone to buy from you again. It's a number. But loyalty? Loyalty is the feeling that makes them want to come back. It's an emotional thing built on trust. So you can think of it like this. Retention is a transaction, but loyalty is a real relationship. And it's that loyalty that turns your customers into your biggest fans, your best advertisers. So check this out. Imagine if you could add up the value of every single customer relationship you have now and into the future. That total number, that's what we call customer equity. The best way to think about it is like a bank account for your company's relationships. And what's in that account? Well, it's your brand's reputation, the strength of those relationships, and what each customer is worth over their lifetime. It is one of the best ways to see how healthy a business really is for the long haul. And growing that relationship bank account really just happens in 3 stages. It's pretty straightforward. Step 1, you bring in new customers. That's acquisition. But honestly, that's the easy part. The real work starts next, keeping them around by making sure they're happy, and then growing that relationship even more by getting them more involved with your brand over time.
All right, so we've covered the why behind marketing and the who, the customer. So now let's talk about the how. What are the actual tools marketers use to get the job done? Time to open up the toolkit.
Okay, so marketers have this huge menu of channels to choose from. You've got your old school stuff, like TV ads and billboards, which kind of spray the message out to everyone. Then you've got digital, social media, email, where you can get super targeted. And you can't forget things like PR for building buzz and direct marketing for those one-on-one chats. The smartest marketers, they don't just pick one. They cook up the perfect recipe, mixing all these channels together to hit the right people in the right place at exactly the right time. And let's be real, today's marketing runs on technology. There's a whole world for it called MarTech. At the center of it all, you've usually got a CRM. Think of a CRM as the company's brain. It holds every piece of customer info. Then you add in marketing automation to do all the boring, repetitive stuff for you, and powerful analytics tools to tell you what's working. It's pretty clear that data is the fuel that makes the modern marketing engine run. So you've got all these cool tech tools. What do you actually do with them? Well, you use them to power your strategies. You take all that data from your CRM and you create marketing that feels like it's talking just to one person. You set up loyalty programs that make your best customers feel special, and you obsess over amazing customer service. See, these are the actions that take all that cold, hard tech and use it to build warm, strong human relationships. Okay, we've looked at where marketing has been, and we've seen how it works right now, but what about tomorrow? Where is this all headed? For our last section, let's peek into the future and see what connection is going to look like. There are 3 gigantic trends you just can't ignore. First up, mobile. Look, mobile isn't just a channel anymore, it is the channel, period. If your marketing doesn't work on a phone, it just doesn't work. Second, video is absolutely king. There's no better way to grab someone's attention. And third, AI. It's not just some buzzword people are throwing around. It is a full-blown revolution that is changing literally everything about how marketing gets done. But here's the thing. If you look a little closer, you'll see these trends aren't really separate. They're all pointing in the same direction. They all serve one single ultimate goal: making the customer experience, or CX, better. We're talking about making every single touch point, every interaction a person has with your brand, from the first ad they see to the moment they're using your product, just as smooth and awesome as it can possibly be. And this is where AI is really flexing its muscles. It's what allows for that super personal touch, but for millions of people at once, serving up that perfect recommendation at just the right moment. It can sift through mountains of data and find little nuggets of insight a human would never spot. And of course, it's powering all those chatbots that give you instant answers at 2 in the morning. So all of this leaves us with one last really big question to chew on. With all this tech, all this data and automation and AI, is marketing becoming less human? Or, and this is the interesting part, could all these powerful tools actually help us understand each other better? Could they help us build deeper, more meaningful connections than we ever thought possible? The answer to that, well, that's going to define the entire future of marketing. Something to think about. Thanks for hanging out with me today.